So now you might wonder, why should we use MVVM? Because it starts to get really complicated, and I really wanted to make sure that you get why we even do that, because otherwise you might say, hey, I don't want to do any of that. And that's how I feel very often when I look at MVVM, because it's just so much abstraction and so much stuff around it that you need to set up. So that abstraction is really one of the whole points why it's so good. So number one is separation of concerns. So MVVM promotes a clear separation between the user interface, the business logic, and data. This ensures that each component has a distinct responsibility, making the code base organized and easier to maintain. Number two is testability. Because of this separation, you can test each component independently. For instance, you can test the view model without needing to involve the user interface or the data source. Number three is reusability. View models are decoupled from the view, meaning you can reuse the same view model across different views or even across different platforms if you're developing a multi-platform app. Then there's data binding. MVVM can be paired with data binding mechanisms, allowing automatic updates between the view model and the view. This reduces boilerplate code and ensures the UI is always in sync with the data. And number five is maintainability. As your application grows, having distinct layers helps in managing the complexity. Changing the user interface won't affect the underlying business logic and vice versa. Now that's why an MVVM makes sense. Now let's look at why a repository makes sense, because we are going to, we use repositories already, and we're going to go even deeper in the next few videos. So a repository is a design pattern that acts as a clean API for data access to the rest of the application. Think of it as a mediator between different data sources, such as remote APIs, local databases, and in-memory caches. The benefits of using a repository are abstraction. So it provides a higher level abstraction over raw data sources, allowing you to switch between different data sources without changing the rest of your application. So for example, you get the data from the web, cool. And now you don't get the data from a web anymore, but you can get it from a database, for example. Well, cool, no problem. Just plug and play, as I said earlier. Then centralized data handling. So all data related operations are centralized in the repository, ensuring consistency and reducing redundancy. Number three is isolation. By isolating data related code in a repository, you can easily mock data for testing, change data storage mechanisms, or add caching layers without affecting the rest of your app. And number four is flexibility. If in the future you decide to change how you fetch or store your data, e.g., for example, moving from one database solution to another or adding a cloud-based backup, you only have to update the repository without touching the view model or the view. Now let's look at a simple analogy. Imagine you're a chef in a restaurant, so the view. The ingredients you need for your dishes can come from various places, a farm, a local market, or even your own garden. These are the different data sources. Now, instead of going directly to these places every time you cook, you have a trusted supplier, the repository, who fetches the best ingredients for you. The supplier knows where to get each ingredient, when to harvest them, and how to store them. All you, the chef, the view, care about is receiving the right ingredients for your dish. The supplier abstracts away the complexity of sourcing ingredients, allowing you to focus on cooking. Similarly, in app development, the repository handles the complexity of data sourcing, letting the view model and the view focus on their primary responsibilities. So, MVVM and repositories patterns might seem complex initially, but they offer long-term benefits, especially for larger applications. Their structured approach aids in managing complexity, ensuring scalability, and improving maintainability. So I understand that this is a little much, maybe at a given point in the course, but it's important for you to understand, which is why we're doing it, because we need to set it up so that it will be available inside of the main activity so that we can actually run our application again.